The July job reports just came out. It was so brutal, even Fox News commentators choked on their coffees, as the numbers are far below market expectations.
Welcome back. We are on countdown mode. We are a minute and a half away from the July jobs report. Economists are expecting 110,000 jobs added to the economy in the month of July, with the unemployment rate ticking higher to 4.2%. The expectations call for 110,000 jobs for the month of July. The unemployment rate at 4.2%. We're looking at markets this morning down 400 points on the Dow Industrials going into the number. The NASDAQ down about 200 going. 73,000 jobs. 73,000
Wow.
Jobs created in the month of July. Number just coming out.
And that's total.
4.2% of the unemployment rate, right in line with expectations. Here are the numbers. For the month of July, jobs came in at 73,000. That was lower than the expectation, which called for 110,000 jobs. The unemployment rate right in step with expectations at 4.2%. Steve Moore, your reaction.
258,000 jobs gone. Worst 3 months employment stretch since COVID. The report is so bad it makes Biden's worst numbers now look like boom times. And fellow Trump's reactions?
Mr. President, why did you fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics?
Because I think our numbers were wrong.
You said the jobs report today were rigged.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think you'll see some very interesting information come out. But you have to have honest reports. And when you look at those numbers, or when you look at just before the election, and then after the election they corrected it by 800,000 or 900,000 jobs, yeah, I would say so.
He fired Erica McEntaffer, Commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, or BLS. And of course, just to be clear, that revision under Biden, the orange liar-in-chief is talking about, didn't happen after the election. It happened months before. But why bother with facts, right? To be clear, the termination of the commissioner is clearly for political reasons. There is no evidence that the job numbers were manipulated, as Trump is claiming.
Well, the data that I've looked at, which is both the BLS data, private sector data, and then we talked to companies all across the country, it all basically says the same thing, that companies have been very cautious about hiring because of all of the uncertainty that we've been under. If you look at the wage growth, both private and government measures of wage growth of the average worker in America, wage growth has also been gradually declining. So all of these together point to the same thing, which is a gently softening labor market. And so that tells me that's probably what's really happening in the economy.
No one credible saying such thing. But why the facts ruin a perfectly good tantrum?
There's been a lot of kind of rationalization away of the jobs number. Well, it could be immigration and so forth. If you look at college unemployment rates, they're clearly going higher. I mean, so to me, like using immigration as a rationale to kind of wish cast away the jobs data, I think is a mistake. So, to me, the Fed is in a pickle, I think, because inflation numbers might get a little worse over the summer. But ultimately, for me, it's about the nominal anchor. Well, I think for the Fed, it feels a little bit like deja vu all over again, because this is kind of where we were around the same time last year. Things sort of seem okay, and then you kind of get punched in the face with a weak jobs number.
Today's report was bad. It did show poor numbers, not because the numbers were cooked, but because of a weakening economy, mostly because of all the uncertainty and constantly changing tariffs, including the threat of 160% tariffs at one point. The chief global strategist at Principal Asset Management sums it up perfectly for us.
The downward revisions to the past 2 months inflicts a major blow to the picture of labor market robustness. What's more concerning is that with the negative impact of tariffs only just starting to be felt, the coming months are likely to see even clearer evidence of a labor market slowdown.
I have news for you, Donnie. The only thing being cooked here is your credibility. And all that uncertainty since Liberation Day was Trump's own doing. But of course, tonight he's firing the messenger. And as we have seen in the past, when the numbers looked good, the very same numbers that have now been downgraded. Remember, the White House called it the June boom, and press secretary did victory laps on Twitter, and MAGA celebrated the greatest economy ever. And now, suddenly it is the deep state because reality stepped in. And here's Hypocrisy 101 with Sean Spicer, as he is doing backflips over positive numbers during Trump 1.0.
I talked to the president prior to this, and he said, to quote him very clearly, "They may have been phony in the past, but it's very real now."
The simple truth is, the numbers weren't phony before Trump took office the first time, they aren't phony now. The BLS is relied upon not only in the US but around the world by government, businesses and private entities. And those are numbers that everyone in the entire economy, every global financial player, every domestic financial player, every planner in every company is using. If this data is tampered with, it screws everyone. And to all CEOs out there playing footsies with fascism, your stock prices won't matter anymore when the dollar crashes, no one trusts US data, your supply chain implode. Trump's reality isn't politics, it's corporate suicide. The US puts out a job report every month, whether it's good or not. It revises the reports based on updated information. When you see big, major changes, like the ones we saw today, it is because there was a major shift in the economy. And what happens on Liberation Day is the definition of major. Firing the people in charge of publishing accurate information about the economy is exactly the kind of things many people have worried about since Trump returned to office.
Today, they fired the head of BLS. So is it time to worry?
It is time to worry. Thank you for putting a camera in front of me, as I unfortunately worried about. It is this, when I saw the job numbers this morning, I thought, as far as the labor market and the economy goes, it's not quite a break glass moment yet, but you better look for your hammer because, as you said, really the job market has really slowed down a lot. And then when I saw him fire the commissioner, that's a 5-alarm fire. We should all be worried about this authoritarian move of trying to take control of the statistical agencies when you don't like the numbers they deliver. The clear incentive is if Donald Trump puts you in charge of a statistical agency, give him the numbers you want or you're out. And that is, as your headline just said, that is absolutely a step down a path to a banana republic. Now, as Dan knows very well, the folks at BLS have a ton of integrity. That's the other thing I said on your show the other night. So we can still certainly trust their work, no question. But this is a huge, worrisome move in the wrong direction.
This is Dictator 101 playbook. Step 1, deny reality. Step 2, persecute truth tellers. Step 3, install your own facts. We've seen this movie before. Remember COVID? Stop testing, the numbers are too high. Or alternative facts. Now, it's the alternative economy. Trump is clearly trying to cook the books here. I would like to say to every Republican still breathing, your oath wasn't to Trump's ego. It was to the fucking Constitution. Either grow a spine or hand Putin your resignation letter on the way out. Let's get real. Trump doesn't do reality. When the cold hard data refuses to play along with his fantasies, he got 2 moves. Number 1, adapt. Pivot, like every functioning government in recent history. Respect the darn numbers. And 2, burn it down. Fire the honest people, bully the ones that's left until they accept alternative facts. So what do you think the orange crook will do? He's picking option number 2, like it's the last chocolate in the box. For more real news, facts and viewpoints to counterbalance the demagogic of the right-wing media, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way to help the channel. Till next time, I'm Wilfried Lemkuller from Europe Curious.
So many nights thinking how you did us wrong. Now we've banded all together. Your tariff man.